Okay guys, so we have the Hyte Y70 Touch today. Thank you SunCycle for giving us the opportunity to review this case. Okay, we'll be using a fully built PC already for this review's purposes. Of course, I'm going to include some B-rolls which have the clean naked version of the casing itself. So the first difference we're going to look at is this front 4K LCD display, which is also a touchscreen panel that supports up to 10 multi-touch point input. Connection of the 4K LCD touchscreen panel is fairly simple. It's not as complex as the Y60, which the Y60 actually required you to 3D print a custom bracket to put it in place. What Hyte has done here is they've already got mounting mechanisms. I wouldn't say it's mounting mechanisms. They've actually pre-mounted the LCD already onto the frame of the casing here, as you can see. And then there are two cables that connect through the casing, which goes through the back and comes from under. That grants you a dedicated display port at the back. The dedicated display port takes up the lowest PCIe bracket. This display port, you would be required to actually connect this display port to your graphics card. Don't worry, Hyte has included the cable for you. This cable, pre-included, no extra cost needed for it. So you take this cable and you just plug it into this display port and also the display port of your graphic card, and this comes to life. Over here it's dead because I've actually pulled out the plug, but you get the gist of it. The second difference that sets the Y70 apart from the Y60 is its overall footprint on the table. Okay, the Y70 is about 10 liters bigger than the previous generation's Y60. And what Hyte has also done here is that in the Y60, they've actually optimized the positioning of the motherboard. By optimizing the position of the motherboard, Hyte has enabled us in the Y70 to actually fit radiators up to 68 millimeters in thickness. Whereas in the Y60, only radiators are up to 30 millimeters. I think 30 millimeters, yeah, if I'm not wrong, it should be 30 millimeters that was allowed in the Y60. Like I said, thickness up to 68 millimeters. Length of radiators, you can actually go all the way to 360 millimeters. What would I say is different this time around is that the previous Y60 had issues with certain 360 millimeter radiators. However, as of the case of the Y70, upon inspection and also compatibility testing, we noticed that pretty much any radiator fits inside, regardless if the radiator has weird opening or closing ports that are situated on the circumference of the radiator, which was a problem in the Y60. As for other compatibilities, GPU. The Y70 allows you to use GPUs of up to 420 millimeters if I recall correctly, while the Y60 only allowed you up to 322. Could be wrong there, but I need to double check that fact. But yes, with the Y70 you can fit even the biggest of all the 4090s also. So that is not an issue. As for CPU coolers, the Y70 Touch allows you to fit CPU coolers or air coolers which have a maximum height of 180 millimeters. Pretty much your NHD15 from Noctua or even the Deep Cool Assassin can comfortably sit in the casing. The third difference the Y70 has over the Y60 is the slotting at the side. The side bracket now allows you to fit up to 3 fans of 120 millimeters thickness, length. And you can also fit a radiator, a 360 radiator. On the Y60, you were only allowed to fit a 280 radiator at most. So a huge upgrade in terms of cooling capacity over here. As for thickness of the radiator, if I'm not mistaken, you can fit a radiator of up to thickness of 125 millimeters. So you can fit in almost any radiator you can find in the market. You can even fit in an alphacool monster inside there, which would just slot in seamlessly. The third difference you would find with the Y70 is the compatibility for bottom fans. The Y70 allows you to fit 320mm fans at the bottom. whereas the Y60 only allowed you a maximum of 2. So for this 120mm fans at the bottom, the maximum thickness allowed is 32mm. As for the rear, it allows up to 140mm. Only a single piece is allowed. I guess those are the main differences you would find with the Y70 and the Y60. In terms of similarities, of course, the overall design structure is still the same. Filters at the back are also the same, which follows a particular pattern that Hyte has intended. You also get the same hard disk bay slots. This casing has 2 for those. Oh yeah, before I forget, the price. Over here in Malaysia, the casing is being sold for RM1799. It's a hefty price tag, but it sure has its perks. The 4K LCD screen, amazing compatibility with almost any radiator or CPU coolers, GPU compatibility, especially given the scenario today where GPUs are becoming bigger and bigger as it gets. It fits any GPU inside. I have an asus TUF 7900 XT running in this here, and it seamlessly fits into it. Coming back to the 4K touchscreen panel at the front, as you can see, I'm actually playing around with the screen. There are widgets and everything which you can customize. How would you customize the screen? Is by using the Hyte Nexus software. The software is available for download on the Hyte website. So upon downloading the software, you can actually have full access to the front display panel. You can set your IDA64 screen readings, screen monitoring. You can actually monitor the hardware. Okay. You can also set custom widgets. Custom widgets like I've set this dolphin, or is that a whale or a fish? Okay. You can set that. You can set your optimization charts. By clicking it, you actually enlarge it to a bigger view, so you can see what's going on and everything. And it works just like a phone. Just slide it up, down like that, and you're back to the home screen. If you slide it from top to down, you get to see these controls. These are just general settings and controls. Of course, there are keyboard shortcuts here. Sorry, not keyboard shortcuts, but Windows shortcuts. You can turn and off your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode. Sorry. But you get the idea of the touchscreen panel. So it's a multi-purpose panel. I'm sure some of y'all would really tweak the highlights out of it and make sure it's a great accessory. Oh, another point to note here is that this panel actually works with Wallpaper Engine. So go out and just do what you want with Wallpaper Engine. So there you go, guys. This is the Hyte Y70 Touch and our review as it's supposed to be. We have a build video coming right up, and we'll also be releasing a video on how you can actually customize the 4K display at the front. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stick around and see you all in the next one.